I've been talking a lot about what life is like for employees working for these carriers. Specifically, it's been the case of retail locations. A lot of it has been between Verizon and T-Mobile. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get an update any day now regarding AT&T, but we know that they have their own problems, right? That whole RTO thing was a mess in itself. But we're talking specifically life for employees at retail locations. Now, it's interesting because it's just kind of happening with all the carriers. It's not like any one specific company is doing something wrong. They're all kind of in this bubble here where they seem to think it's okay to, oversell on customers. And it's really reflecting. And it's interesting how, for me, the Verizon story and the T-Mobile story are so identical. The similar things are happening. The same similar things are happening in many ways. You know, both employees are complaining that they're being forced to upsell products to customers that don't want it, don't need it, at any cost to benefit the company. These are, I'm assuming, ex-employees, so that's why they're coming out and speaking about it. They don't seem to care anymore. They're not blaming their managers, like at these retail locations. So it's not like, well, my manager was greedy and wanted to sell and he didn't care, how we feel. No, they're blaming the companies. This person that I'm talking about today is literally blaming T-Mobile and saying that this is a T-Mobile issue, that they want us to upsell products to customers at any cost, whether or not they want it or need it. They don't care. And they want us to take advantage of the situation at hand if we can. So that means if you go into a store and you need help with something, maybe a phone, maybe it's a SIM issue, maybe you have eSIM and you deleted it by accident, you don't know how to reinstall it. Not everybody's good with phones. So you go in, you speak to a rep who's supposed to be able to help you with that. Maybe they do help you with that. They verify you, they pull up your profile, they're looking at what products and services you have. This is their opportunity to get you. They'll offer you a product. They won't tell you that you're going to pay for it. And then you'll find out a month or two from now, maybe longer, depending on how frequently you keep up to date with your finances and your billing. Not everybody checks immediately. Some people, they can go months before they realize what they're even paying. Some people have a lot of money and they just have things set to auto and they find out months from now that they've been getting ripped off. And then what a headache that's going to be trying to get a reimbursement, but it happens. So this is maybe what T-Mobile's hoping, that you won't figure it out. Or by the time you do, it'll be too late to get a refund. I don't know. But this is what we're hearing. Stories like this. We've heard even worse stories, which it's not in this article, but there's plenty of Reddit users that attest to going into stores, different carriers, and having the worst things happen. Worst thing happening is you go in for a question, customer rep pulls up your profile, and then somehow you leave with a new product. But you didn't even talk about it. It wasn't promoted as free. You didn't accept it. See, in this case, in this article, we're talking about specifically where they falsely advertise what they're giving you. They tell you it's free, but it's not, and then you get a bill. There's been cases, according to users on Reddit, where products are just being added to their account without even a discussion being made. Can you imagine that? Imagine, you don't even know what that person is doing to your profile, but you leave the place with your situation worse. You now have this fat bill that you have to cancel, and it's just a headache, and it's unnecessary, and it's also that they can meet their goals. But apparently, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T are in on it. Now, I don't know how much of that I believe, because I feel like this would be more damaging than it would be helpful to their reputation at the very least. But if the rep sees that you're on a legacy plan, maybe per instructions of the company, they may want you off of those legacy plans at any cost, meaning that they are instructing the employees to upgrade you to a newer plan. And if you decide you no longer want to stay on that plan, then you can leave. And maybe, in many cases, I think this is the problem. Once you are upgraded, they may not be able to bring you back to that plan. They may say, oh, we can't do it. It was changed. This could be some kind of scam that's being worked too. They may hope that you'll leave if you don't want the new plan and come back in a couple of months and pay more willingly. There's all kinds of things and possibilities that could be taking place. These are just assumptions, because I do not work for these companies and I don't know what their alternative motives are, but they're not good. Apparently their intentions are bad. Now, if you believe these companies are actually doing this, I know some of you do. You've commented where you've worked for these companies And they've basically come outright and told you, this is what we're doing. This is our mission. We're going to test the waters here. We're going to see how much you can take, or the customer, me and you, can take before we leave. And, this is the case. It's often the case. So it's real weird stuff. There's a lot of desperation going on. If they can't sell phones, if they can't sell plans, what else is there left? Sell insurance, sell accessories, just forcefully upgrade you. Yeah, I mean, it's all an act of desperation. And I guess they're just trying to see what customers they can take advantage of. But it is weird. And, I don't know. Every now and then we'll get a memo from somebody higher up at one of these companies apologizing for what these stores do, making them look bad. This is not what they want. This is not a representation of the company. They don't want customers to feel, scared to go into the stores or whatever it is. This will be their sob apology, but yet we don't see anything changing. We're getting more of these stories, not less. Then we're hearing about how some locations, probably the ones that are designed to fail, talking about how they can't even get breaks. It's so tight there. There's not enough people, and they're being forced to sell so much that they can't even take breaks. So here's an interesting thing. All right. I talked about Verizon, and I'm talking about T-Mobile now. They're both having similar problems with the sales, right? The reps overselling products that, basically ripping customers off. I'm being too polite. Ripping customers off, but also having a problem actually serving the customer. So Verizon's excuse is they don't have access to do anything. And it's actually frustrating because I guess they get angry customers that come in and want help and they can't, and they probably get, an earful of bad words and inappropriateness because they can't do anything. The idea is that when you go into a store, your rep can help you with more than just paying a phone bill, more than just selling you a product. But it doesn't look like that's the case anymore. So that brings us back to T-Mobile. They're pushing their T-Life app so hard, like it's out of control. Apparently, you can't even go into a T-Mobile store now, and I did a video on this, without having the T-Life app installed on your phone. If so, they won't help you. Now, the reason behind this is the rep is instructed from T-Mobile to show you how to do a lot of these services yourself so that you don't need their help. Now, you might ask, well, why would that be? Why wouldn't they want me to go to a customer service rep? Well, I think in the long run, it's because they're going to probably eliminate in-store customer service. That's going to be that whole AI thing. But for now, I think it's more a focus on, they're being distracted and wasting time with petty things like helping you with a problem with your SIM or something like that. They'd rather you figure out how to do it yourself. There's instructions and there's ways to do it, tutorials. They want you to learn how to do that so that these reps can spend their time selling products and services. That's what I'm seeing. Why else would they restrict certain permissions from customer service reps at Verizon? And why would they take away the ability for you, to get service from store reps at T-Mobile? Why do you need the T-Life app if you're going into a store? I can see why this might benefit you if you're home and you can't get to a store. Maybe you're too far or you don't have a car or you're disabled. But if you can walk and you want to go to a store, what's the problem? They don't want it. So there's a lot of shadiness and weird stuff going on. So maybe they are in on it or not. I could be reaching. You let me know what you think down below. I don't know. Maybe you guys have more experience. Maybe you know someone that works for these stores. Maybe you've worked for this store. Let us know if you want. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.